Hey everyone, this is Tom from Adventures at Home. So I have a new piece of equipment here for the wood yard. Let me show you what it is. So this is it. It's the Jansen GTS-2000 wood chipper. And I've been using this for a little bit today. I used it a little bit yesterday, but this thing is nice. It has a 14 horsepower Kohler Command Pro engine on it. It's got an emergency shutoff there. This thing is built like a tank. It weighs just about 500 pounds. You can tow it around with your tractor, or in my case, a side-by-side. Or you can even tow it with your truck if you need to. So I'll show you how this works, but I'm very impressed with it. Here's the wood chips. That's the one thing I wanted. It's very windy out here, so hopefully you're not hearing that, but here's the wood chips. So these are nice big chunks, and that was the one thing I really wanted, the big chunky chips, so that they would last a while. You know, if you get the dusty chips, I mean, they're just going to blow away and they'll be nothing in a matter of days. So anyway, these are nice and chunky. Very happy with the chips. Again, it seems to be a very well made machine. Originally I thought this was made in the USA. It's called Jansen USA, where I purchased it, but it's actually a German made machine. Of course, the engine is made in America. It's a Kohler engine, but it's got a belt here that drives the big drum. So there's a huge drum down here. You can see where the bearing is. I made sure I greased that up. So we can look down the chute. Hopefully you can see this, but it actually feeds in the wood pretty easily, and you're not having to push it down. So that was another thing. I wanted a self-feeding feature, and this does a pretty good job of that, and you'll see in a few minutes here when I start it up and start putting some wood through it. I've been putting some of these dried out leftover pieces of firewood. So this is the stuff I've been putting through it this morning, and it's pretty chunky. I mean, look at this. It'll chip this up. Now it's not going to just go straight through. It's going to bounce around in there and eventually chip it up, but it'll chip it up. So you can put, I think it's set up to 4 inches, and that piece there was probably 3 inches. But that's about as big as I'll go on this. But as you know, if you have a wood yard, it gets very muddy all the time. And especially right here in front of my barn, you can see how muddy it is. And then going along the side of my barn, it gets extremely muddy all the way back to the wood yard. The other nice feature about this is that it has an electric start. So it has a battery and a key start, which you can kind of see right over here. So that's nice. With these big engines, they get kind of hard to pull. Just wanted to point out a couple things on this that weren't quite right. So this is a shutoff here. You can see the wires, and this pushes in. So I had to adjust this down to make sure this was pushed in. The other thing that wasn't done, this red wire comes from the battery up to the starter. That was not connected, so you need to connect that right over here. We can see that on the right there. So that needs to, there's a little nut on there you'll have to unscrew and put this cable on it. The other thing that you may encounter on this. The other thing you may encounter on this is this shutoff. So this kind of pushes in and I think it turns. Yeah. So anyway, it was pushed in. You need to make sure this is out or it won't start. So that was basically it. You're going to need 2 people to put this together. Like I said, it weighs almost 500 pounds. And it was a chore to try to get this together. I did have my wife help me. The first thing I did was put this pedestal on right here. I put that on first, and I was able to lift up the back end and get the first wheel on. And I lifted it up, and my wife put it on there, and she got it threaded. And then we went over into the other one. And once we were that far along, we were in good shape. Also, I put the tow bar on. That was number 2. So step number 1, put the pedestal. Step 2, put the tow bar on. Step 3 was the first wheel. The other thing you may need to do is adjust the latch on the hitch here. Actually, all it was is I just needed to take this out. So if you don't, if this is not out, this bolt and this nut, you won't be able to lift the handle up. So I wasn't familiar with that. I'm going to start this up and give you a little demo. right, guys, that's about it for today. It's very windy out here. I'm hoping that you're not getting a lot of wind noise, but yeah, we're supposed to get like 50 to 60 mile an hour winds today, later today, and it's already getting very windy now. Pretty warm days. It's supposed to hit about 60, 65 today, so that's very warm for this time of year for us in Northeast Ohio. So anyway, if you like the video, please subscribe and give me a like, and have a great day.